Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy SBX, and coming to you once again on another gaming review. And I want to talk about the Star Wars BattleFront 2 for the PlayStation 4 and also the Xbox One. I feel like this game is pretty dope, and by saying so is I'll give you my pros and my cons about why I think about how good and how not so good based on this game. So let's get to the pros for a minute. I feel like the number one reason why this game is so cool to me is because of the graphics. You know, I'm very fixated with when it comes to graphics. You know, it's like the type of graphics that makes it look so realistic and good color, and also you see a lot of details. It shows that, you know, the developers did one hell of a good job on the game. So of course, you know, the gameplay itself is pretty good, and you know, it's not trying to be too much of a typical first person shooter games that you normally play, like Call of Duty and Overwatch and stuff like that. And to be quite honest with you, this game could go both ways. Either you can do it by first person shooter or third person shooter. Depends on how you play the game and what is more comfortable for you to play. But I prefer third person shooter because you get to see where you're going and things of that sort. I mean, I always prefer third person shooter, you know, and you know, I try first person shooter games. I'm not gonna lie, I like them, but it really all depends on what game is worth playing it to you, or how you feel about a certain game. But anywho, the story mode is pretty good. The first thing that I want to say that the cons is that this game doesn't have too much of a story mode, and you know, it's at the point where, you know, after you finish playing the game, you do whatever you want to do, like as far as playing like the arcade mode, or you get to do online sessions. Even with the arcade mode, it's fun and all, but after a while you get bored playing arcade mode. So it's best to play with a friend or play it online if you can handle a lot of competition. So it gets very competitive on an online session. So I know I'm not trying to say that the online session is bad. It's pretty good. It's very sufficient, and you know, everybody gets to play. So that's one thing that I will say that is my pros really about, is you got good online sessions, you have good graphics, and also too, the melee and shooting is pretty much what's cracking. So on to the gameplay is that, you know, you at least, like I said, you can change it to be third person or first person shooter. Depends on the characters you play. You either they have their guns, or they have their swords, which are the lifesavers. I'm gonna be quite honest with you folks. I am not a big Star Wars fan based on the movies and the trilogies, but this game, for some reason, I felt that it kind of caught my attention, you know, because like I said, the way how the graphics look and the way how you shoot and things of that sort, it makes you feel like for me, it makes me feel like it's worth playing. And you know, it's not as the same as the other Star Wars games as far as the Legos and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know, those are like for kids and just, you know, people who are a diehard Star Wars fan. You know, I'm not gonna use the stereotypes as like, oh, Star Wars are for nerds. No, Star Wars for everybody. You know, unless you are a fan. So I'm not gonna lie and say that I am a fan. I'm not a fan at all. But this game really intrigued me for some reason. So, you know, I really feel like the graphics is, like I said, it's the number one reason why I wanna buy this game. The reason why I bought this game during the holiday season, you know, during the week of the holiday. So I'm sorry that I never got a chance to do a review, and I've been done with this game for quite a while. So realistically speaking too, is that I haven't really been on the gaming for a while, so that's why I'm going back on the games that I've owned and purchased, and I will try to do as many reviews as possible. So this game deserves, in my opinion, the review that it deserves. So the game's the plot of the story mode, you get to play as Aiden, who is pretty much the main protagonist in the game, but in the later chapters of the game you also get to play as the original characters of the original Star Wars movie and trilogy. Like, you know, for example, you do play as Luke Skywalker, and you do play as Princess Leia, Lando, and the list goes on. But they all have a purpose of being in the story, especially with the original characters that I've listed. You know, Aiden, there's two different stories of it when, you know, she just escaped from some type of prison. I'm sorry that I don't know what it is called, but again, I am not a big Star Wars fan, and she escaped from the evil villains who captured her, and, you know, and find ways to get her revenge in the later chapters of the game. And also there's a part 2 when Aiden is older and she is a mother. So it's pretty much, you know, a two-way story of playing this game. So I guess it's trying to say that they don't want to make it too short, but, you know, I guess I can tolerate that. But I kind of felt like it could have done a little bit more better than that, you know. Like I said, the scenery is pretty great. It's like watching the actual Star Wars movie, in fact. But, you know, sometimes when it comes to TV shows or games, compare the difference between them. It's like some things are worth being in certain levels, you know, or certain lanes, you know. I mean, there's some anime shows that I don't really watch, but if it's like the game wise, I'll play it. And if it's the other way around also too, if it's like, you know, if I like it as a game then as a TV show, or the TV show as a game, then I will definitely feel that I will, you know, fuck with it. But anywho though, folks, in my opinion, I do think that the game itself is fun for a little while, but then after a while you get to just think about just go ahead and play some other games, you know, like arcade and online session. Or if you get bored with it, you just, you know, wrap it up and play it another time. But there's so many things to do. I will say, like, you can go on arcade mode, and you can extend how many minutes that you can survive in this in the stages you're in. As far as that goes, you get to be in the arcade with whichever side you want to be, between the light side or the dark side. And of course on the light side, it's pretty much like, you know, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Finn, Yoda, excuse me, I said Yola, but Yoda, Han Solo, and Chewbacca, and the list goes on. And they have your own troopers. And then also the dark side, you have your Darth Vader, Darth Maul, and you have your stormtroopers. You know, those are the really, I think they're more the protagonists of the Star Wars series. You know, it ain't a Star Wars without the stormtroopers. You know, but other than that, I kind of felt that I have lack of knowledge about Star Wars, and again, I am not a big Star Wars fan. I've seen the movies, but I'm not very into the Star Wars trilogy. Like, I never seen like the other movies per se, but I have watched the classic Star Wars movies and the remakes and the 2015 Star Wars movie. So I will say that it was a decent, good movie, but again, coming from me that is not a non-fan, I am not too intrigued with just Star Wars, you know. But again, this game kind of appeals to my eye to think it's worth playing. So, you know, this is pretty much a open-minded type of outlook that I see myself doing, and you know, I try to call myself trying to play something new for once and don't be closed-minded, and you know, also being bored and try some other games that make me feel like I want to kill time playing, besides playing the same games all over again, you know. But anywho though, folks, I really have to say that this game is pretty much dope, and you know, it's fun. I like how you shoot in the game. I like how you do melee attacks. I like the fact that you can set up between first person and third person shooter, and the graphics, it's just the main reason why I have to pick up this game, why I have to get this game in the first place. So anyways though, folks, I'm done here. I like to know everybody else's opinions, and if you have the game, how do you feel about it? And like I said, leave your comments on the comment sections below. Like and subscribe. SBX wrapping this shit up. Thanks for watching. Peace the fuck out and play hard. Peace.